Search is on after a deadly shooting in Northwest D.C.
One man died and another man now fighting to recover. Our Regina Ureta is live outside of police headquarters tonight with the very latest. Regina.
Yeah, guys, and tonight this has turned into a homicide investigation. Police have confirmed that one person is dead, another is in the hospital with serious injuries, and authorities are looking for the person or people responsible. Now, tonight we talked to neighbors who say they're fed up. They also say that this is a string, or the latest string, in these shootings happening in their community, and they want change. Now, take a look. This is what the scene looked like earlier today. You can see D.C. police as well as National Guard members and detectives. They're marking evidence as they worked to determine exactly what happened. According to D.C. police, just before 2:30 this afternoon, officers responded to reports of a shooting in the 1300 block of 5th Street Northwest. When officers arrived, they found two men suffering from gunshot wounds. D.C. Fire and EMS drove both victims to the hospital in critical condition. Police have since confirmed one of the men died from his injuries. The other is currently hospitalized. Today's shooting happened just blocks from another violent incident that happened in April. A 5-year-old boy and 2 men were shot near N and 4th Street Northwest. Several neighbors told us they're afraid to speak, saying shootings happen in this area far too often. They echoed concerns they raised back in April, saying that despite a heavy National Guard presence, deadly violence continues.
I don't think they do much. They just walk around and, I don't see anything, but there is a lot of National Guard all over. And every block you go, they come around.
And right now, authorities are looking for a white Honda with red markings and a Maryland license plate that reads 4EV6264. Anyone with any additional information is advised to contact police. Back to you.
Mia Bienemy is out of intensive care after she was shot twice in her home in Ashburn on Sunday night. She's the wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator and former commander's assistant Eric Bienemy. Their son Elijah was arrested for the shooting. He's now charged with malicious wounding. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid says that her husband is still on a break from the team to help in her recovery.
The man accused of crashing a truck into a Sterling home last week, now in ICE custody. Rutilo Zelaya Franco was detained last week after appearing in court on reckless driving and hit-and-run charges tied to the chase and crash. ICE says that agents were trying to stop Franco when 2 people bailed out of the moving truck, sending it crashing into the home on Sherwood Court.
Before we get to weather, the National Weather Service has confirmed 3 tornadoes across Maryland during yesterday's storm. 2 of them touched down in Anne Arundel County. You're looking at some of the damage left behind from an EF1 tornado that touched down in North Shore. Another one was confirmed in Arnold. The third was over on the eastern shore in Talbot County. This one hitting a fairly rural area. Those, you could see some farm buildings were damaged.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. The damage we see is pretty widespread, Mike.
Yeah, and that's what, some tornadoes touching down will do. There was a lot of just general wind damage across parts of the D.C. region as well. There are those 2 tornadoes that Jim just mentioned up in Anne Arundel County. Both, I put Annapolis on the map, both north of Annapolis there, with this one on the northern edge of it being the one that was rated an EF1 tornado. The second one, which they've confirmed just to the north and east of Arnold, that has not yet been giving a rating. Neither has the one over in Trapp, Maryland, which is this one on the eastern shore. I know you see multiple boxes there. They just marked where damage was done, but this was 1 tornado, whereas this was 2 separate ones. So 3 confirmed tornadoes so far, but they may go back and notice that, hey, we had a few more than that. In fact, they did that with last week's. They just released the survey data from last Tuesday's severe weather, and there were 6 tornadoes that were confirmed from that one. All of them well to the west of town, with the closest to us being down in Thornton Gap, Virginia. Most of these in very rural areas, thankfully, as well. Nothing happening on satellite and radar tonight. 1 or 2 sprinkles in our northern zones have long faded away. Just some passing clouds out there, courtesy of this wave of low pressure, same one that caused all the trouble here in town yesterday, kind of maturing and bringing in some moisture across portions of New England and upstate New York. Welcome rain up that way, and just standard rain today. No severe weather across anywhere in the northeast this afternoon. Temperatures have been pleasant as that low pressure system rotates down some comfortable air. 76 Beltsville, as well as Upper Marlboro, 77 Waldorf and La Plata, Colonial Beach at 76, Fairfax 79, Lovettsville out in Loudoun County sitting at 73 degrees. Tomorrow, another really good day, and I think it's very similar to today in that we start out comfortable with a lot of sunshine, and then as the day goes on, likely going to mix in a couple of clouds. Again, that wave of low pressure isn't moving, and every now and then it's going to send us a few clouds in our sky here. So expect that kind of mid to late afternoon. Then we should clear it out a bit as we head into the evening hours tomorrow night. Now, by the weekend, we are talking about the chance for some 90s coming back and also the chance for some thunderstorms, but not all weekend. We'll help break that down for you if you're trying to make some outdoor plans this weekend. All coming up in just a few minutes. Guys?
For the third time this summer, a young man is drowned in the Potomac downstream of Great Falls. Teams have been busy since yesterday looking for the 25-year-old who went missing in the Potomac south of Sandy Landing. Tonight, the parents of other drowning victims say authorities need to do more to prevent those tragedies.
It's just devastating. We understand it's protected land. There is no reason that the officials can't do more. There are signs. There's not enough signs. You spend more time patrolling the water trying to find somebody than patrolling the water to keep people out of it.
And tonight, signs like these are a reminder it is illegal to enter the river below the falls. Montgomery County Fire and Rescue officials say many people just don't realize how dangerous conditions can develop.
The 6-year-old who nearly drowned at a UDC campus pool last week is no longer on a breathing tube. The family of Adonis Jackson says he remains in the pediatric intensive care unit where he is facing a long and uncertain recovery. Jackson was found at the bottom of a pool during a summer camp earlier this month. No lifeguards were on duty at the time of the incident. Several lifeguards and members of the UDC staff are on administrative leave.
Tonight, investigators say they've discovered even more victims weeks after a Walter Johnson High School employee was arrested accused of filming female students in a changing room.
Fox 5's Sydney Persing is in Montgomery County tonight with the latest details.
Investigators now believe this school employee secretly filmed at least 12 female students as they undressed over at least 2 different years. And now tonight, court documents also accuse him of taking and saving screenshots of female students' cleavage from photos off of their social media. Take a look here. This is James Mulhern III, arrested back in April, accused of secretly filming 4 high school girls as they undressed. Police said students, while at school in early April, had discovered a camera. On it, videos of girls changing in a dressing room near the school theater. Mulhern was a media services technician at the school who worked on student plays, and according to law enforcement, was seen on that video setting up and turning off the camera. Now, while they were discovered this year, investigators said those videos were actually filmed in 2018. Police at the time of Mulhern's arrest seized several additional electronic devices, and in the months since then now say they've discovered videos of even more Walter Johnson students undressing, this time from 2015. Mulhern was in court today again as he now faces 8 additional charges, 12 total of sex abuse of a minor. Here's Montgomery County State's Attorney John McCarthy.
We have not completed our work. The police haven't completed their work. And obviously now that we know that this was not a one-off, this was not a single occasion, this was not a single video, and we have now videos from 2 different years.
Mulhern has been out of jail since he was arrested. The state wanted him put back in. Ultimately today, though, the judge did allow his release under a series of conditions. He must stay away from the high school. He also can't have contact with any minors other than his 4-year-old son. That contact has to be supervised. Each sex abuse of a minor charge, by the way, carries up to a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison in Maryland, which means if Mulhern is found guilty and convicted on all 12 charges, he could be looking at up to 300 years behind bars.
There are very, very severe penalties because I think the state of Maryland takes abuse of minors very seriously. That's why it's a felony. That's why it carries 25 years.
Mulhern's family was in the courtroom today. That included his wife and his in-laws. His defense attorneys argued to the court that continued family support is indicative of his general character.
Stunning video. A D.C. veteran is now taking legal action after she says those were National Guard troops who were assaulting her at her own home. It stems from the video that allegedly shows Anna King, who received a Purple Heart, sitting on her patio back in May. That's when she says 3 National Guards members walked through her gate and violently detained her. Lawyers say King suffered significant injuries, and now they're demanding justice through the federal claims process.
She was forcibly put on the ground, bruises on her back, psychological trauma, and all of this for no apparent reason other than her criticism of the National Guard. So this is an incident that really shows the dangers of militarized policing and why we need to get back to having our streets free from the National Guard and other military presences.
Fox 5 has reached out for comment from the White House and National Guard. So far, no response.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and the interim police chief are responding to a scathing report today on the city's crime stats. The Inspector General's report accuses MPD of a systemic breakdown in its crime reporting procedures. Both the mayor and the interim chief, Jeffrey Carroll, says that steps are being taken to improve that process.
My expectation for any member of the police department, maybe an officer, maybe an official, maybe myself, is to make sure that we are accurately reporting crime, we're classifying crime accurately within the DC code, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
We take these recommendations very seriously. Chief Carroll has already begun to implement those recommendations.
Now, the OIG report did not say MPD intentionally misled the public or misrepresented crime data.